Hello, and welcome to this video on stretching, what every musician should know about stretching.
Yeah! Let's do it!
My name is Joseph Arnold,
I'm Aaron Bigeleisen.
and today we're going to talk to you about what works and what doesn't
Hmm.
around stretching, what actually helps you find the relief, what approaches to stretching that help you find actual relief, and why sometimes stretching doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And please do stick around for the end of this video because we're going to tell you about some of our very exciting courses and free offerings, things that will get you feeling much better very quickly. So, stretching. You know, it's kind of a go-to technique for anybody in pain, but you know, for somebody with repetitive strain injuries, you know, it just kind of makes sense, you know, to do those kinds of things just intuitively, but also, you know, your doctor, your physical therapist will give you stretches to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, typically, however, you know, it can kind of feel kind of good in the moment or not, but sometimes it can feel pretty good, but then the pain just comes back.
Yeah.
So it has this temporary effect. And what we're really looking at with our Soul Force music and as Alexander Technique teachers is how to bring permanent relief from injuries. It is possible. We've both had injuries and have relieved them.
All gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk about what stretching actually is at the level of the muscle.
Nice.
So, one of the biggest reframes that we want to give you is that you are not a bag of meat.
Contrary to popular opinion.
Indeed. Indeed. So, the typical Western approach is to view the body as merely an assemblage of physical entities, separate parts, and really just merely physical things, or mechanical, maybe that's the word. You know, your body is not a machine and doesn't work in a mechanical kind of way. And one of the reasons this is so important for stretching is that if you stretch your body in a mechanical kind of way, you're not going to get as much benefit. So mechanical kind of stretching, it looks like really maximizing the stretch or just doing it kind of mindlessly, like pulling on your body without really sensing, like is this actually helping your body, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So one thing that you really need to know around stretching is how stretch receptors actually work in your muscles. So when you're stretching, one thing that you're stretching is the connective tissue, the fascia, and the ligaments and tendons and all that kind of thing. And that typically, you know, especially ligaments and tendons, don't typically stretch very much and don't really want to stretch those because those are what hold the joints together. So what you actually want to do is for the soft tissue, the muscle, and the more fluid kind of connective tissue that muscles are embedded in, you want those to be able to release, right? This is what a stretch is about. You want it to release. If you don't release in a stretch, then why are you doing the stretch? Let's be clear on what we're looking for here. And so there's something called a stretch receptor, a muscle spindle, and the muscle spindle is a kind of nerve that's in all of your muscles, and it's really important. It has this very important job of keeping your muscle healthy and in one piece. So if your muscle stretches too much, too quickly, or too much in length, it will begin to contract the muscle. So that's what the muscle spindle does. Too much stretch or too fast of a stretch, and you get that contraction. Right, so this is why, you know, if you're picking up something off the floor and you stand up too quickly, you might get a back spasm or something like this. But what happens in stretching is that people tend to like really feel the stretch. And what this means is it's like pulling on your body. What that does, if you're really pulling on your body, you're activating the muscle spindles so that they're contracting. Your muscle is contracting, and then you're pulling against a contracted muscle. This is not going to work.
Yeah.
So what you really need to look out for is, instead of really feeling the stretch, getting that intense stretching sensation, you want to look for releasing your muscles in the stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, the tie-in here is like, but I really feel like I'm doing something when I feel so much pain when I'm stretching. I feel like that was the way that, and so right. So this was my thought process. I really feel like I'm doing something when
Yeah.
But the idea is that actually, so this is also tied into the possibility that in your stretching, also in your practicing, and also in your life, doing a good job doesn't mean being in pain.
Yeah, it sounds kind of funny to say it out loud, but really that no pain, no gain mentality is runs so deep.
Yeah, and it's so counterproductive.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Well, anything else about like the like some harmful misconceptions around
Yeah,
stretching?
more is not better.
Yeah, yeah.
Stretching harder, stretching longer, forcing the stretch, all these things are counterproductive.
Mm.
What you want is for your body to feel better. And thinking in terms of ends and means here, like so the end goal of stretching is for your body to feel better.
Yeah.
And if your means to get there are not making your body feel better, then your body's not feeling better. Right? So you want the quality of your means to match the quality of your ends. So the quality of your stretching, fluid, free, relaxed, is going to help you feel fluid, free, and relaxed later. So it's so important to begin sensing your body, actually noticing, is this helping or not, while you're stretching.
Yeah. Right. So we're getting away from the idea of stretching and into actually sensing the stretching experience.
That's right. Yeah, and you were saying something earlier about doing this with your whole body.
Yeah, exactly. So typically our kind of Western way of looking at the body is a bunch of disparate parts, things that we have to fix or manage. So I have this pain here, I got to focus here, and then I'm going to get that stretch. But if you notice, if you just let your attention narrow for a second here and focus, you could focus on a part of your body here. Notice what happens in your body. Do you get freer or do you get tighter? If you start to pay attention to something, for me, like I actually start to notice some pain start to creep into my body the more intensely I focus on that one spot. So instead, again, it's this ends and means. So if you want the pain to actually go away or the tension to go away, you want to stretch in such a way that you're not contributing to the overall level of tension and pain by the way that you're thinking about stretching. So a real simple thing is just like noticing your whole body as you stretch, and not trying to force anything to happen.
Right.
Will get better results.
Yeah, because your body is a web, just like your shirt. You pull on your shirt, the whole thing moves. You can't actually stretch isolated muscles. It's impossible. Just like you can't move just one part of your shirt without the whole thing moving. So if you think of stretching just one little tiny muscle, you're actually going to get less benefit out of it because in order to isolate that stretch, you're going to have to stop. You're going to have to tighten up some more muscles around the area where you're stretching in order to isolate it and make it just that one muscle stretch. So thinking of a stretch as happening in your whole body is really going to make a big difference. So when you stretch, this muscle here, that muscle is attached to all these muscles back here and here and here and here. And it becomes actually much more pleasurable to stretch when you're thinking about stretching in your whole body.
Yeah.
Using the web. Yeah. Now, we'll say that stretching has only temporary effects. It's actually a really good idea to do stretching in order to help your musculoskeletal system, your fascia, to become more fluid, the connective tissue to become more fluid. We really want that. But stretching in and of itself is not enough. And the reason for this is that it doesn't really get to the root cause of the kinds of injuries that musicians have. Chronic musculoskeletal things like carpal tunnel tendonitis, back pain, numbness, tingling, all the kinds of usual aches and pains, overuse injuries, repetitive strain injuries. Stretching helps these things temporarily, but it doesn't really get to the root cause.
Yeah.
What is the root cause?
So the real root cause. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? So the real root cause of this is actually it's the way that you think about yourself, and it's the way that thinking about yourself manifests itself in your behaviors and your actions.
That's right.
So just like what we were talking about, this little example earlier, that if you're hyper focusing on this little tension spot, it gets worse, right? So this way of being in the world, of getting really, really way too focused, way too intense, not noticing your body, is a way that inevitably leads to tension, pain, frustration, and yeah, not good things.
So the root cause of repetitive strain injuries really comes down to behaviors, not mechanical problems with your body.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with your body, even if you're in a great deal of pain, and it seems obvious to you that there's something wrong with your body. There's nothing like inherently wrong with your body. It's a behavior thing. It's a habit that you're habitually getting too tight in your body.
Yeah.
And habits work like this: stimulus, response. Here's the thing I need to do. Response: tighten up while I do it. What you need in order to begin to create new pathways in your brain, new kinds of behaviors where you're not as tight, is a pause. A magic pause. The magic pause. The magic pause. So that brings us to our course that's coming out at the end of the month, the magic pause. This is the single most important tool that you can have as a musician, just in general. Because in order to play music beautifully, you need to be free in your body, and this is like the simplest tool to be able to do that. But also, it's like the simplest, most effective, most powerful, like one thing. If you have one thing, one tool, one technique in your tool belt that will help you relieve the tension and pain that causes musicians' injuries, it's this, the magic pause. It will help you go from, hey, I gotta play this song, tighten up, to, hey, I gotta play this song, I'm gonna play this song now, being much more free. And the pause is what lets you make that choice, make that different choice. So, the link is below. You can sign up for our waiting list, and if you sign up before the end of the month,
you will have access to a live masterclass with Joseph and I. We're going to be workshopping the magic pause and really just whatever it is that's most pressing for you in terms of how to deal with pain and tension as a musician, even while playing really hard things.
Yeah. And if you're not ready to sign up for that, you can sign up for our free mini course, 5 simple and surprisingly effective techniques for relieving tension, releasing pain, even when playing the most challenging music. So again, the link is for that. The link for that is down below. Check that out. 20 minutes. You'll have some really great tools to feel better while you're playing music. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll find this on podcast places too.
Oh, reach out to us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, reach out to us. If something in this video it really spoke to you, just send us a message.
Sure.
And because we do this because we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next time.